Even the stuff that's in the book, you can't.
Well, no, the book, it's all fair game.
What about the part of Tom Moore looking like Billy Donovan?
Well, I mean, if you look at prime Tom Moore and Billy in the '90s, and those great teams. I mean, they both had kind of that slick back, kind of the wet look, and Tom still has it, and Billy's
Like that?
updated his. So there you go. Where's Tom? Yeah, so there's Tom there. Find an old Billy Donovan from Florida. You know what I mean? Like they had that, both had that same deal. So it's good for Tom's ego.
How's he doing his GM?
Tom's doing a good job. You know, it's I think the scheduling stuff is he's doing a great job with. I think obviously there's things from a revenue sharing standpoint that you're trying to move forward with, new creative things to bring in money, and then he's resting up because when the portal hits, in the end of next year, it's the Tom show.
Pretty guy new
Is he going to be on the
office.
bench?
No.
Is this book cathartic for you? Did you learn something about yourself in doing
He'll
it?
be near the bench, but not on it, I don't think. What's that?
Was this book cathartic for you? Did you learn something about yourself in doing it?
It was. I would say reading over the parts of especially college were tough. Just to put, kind of relive that the 7 or 8, 9 times that you're kind of dealing with the manuscript, and so just going back to that a bunch of times probably was like longer. It took me longer to read through it because I'd read a couple pages, I'd put it down, I'd go to my wife, I'd say, what this is hard to read, and then. But then I think from a positive standpoint, it gives you a chance to give yourself some grace and appreciation for, just how long the road's been to get here and the obstacles, the challenges. Also give me a little bit of an accounting of myself when I don't usually take the time to keep score of how good I'm doing in life. So.
Do you think you will go back and read the book a few times here and there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I read it. I mean, I've read it 10 times. From where it is to what's published. The book reads like this coaching character that's had this journey, and then he's a quirky guy. So like the quirkiness, the championships, and then the coaching path. When I read it, it sounds like a movie. I'm not saying that. Some should make it a movie, but it reads like a movie when you read your whole kind of life arc.
Coach,
Hiding under the desk, with dragon underwear, picking out M&Ms while you've just drank a 5-hour energy. You know what I mean? Like that's to sitting up here with Molly after going back to back. Just.
Get Luke's father to play Calhoun.
Yes. Yeah, or the Nick Nolte from when Blue Chips, right? That version of him.
So, Coach, how has Ian O'Connor been throughout this whole process of doing this book? Because he's been with you the course of the past season, and he seems like he's been a great mentor for you for this book. Yeah.
So I needed somebody to do it that had a feel for the whole Hurley thing. Like the whole Hurley. That knew the family, that had New Jersey, North Jersey roots, and just could tell my story the most authentically, with obviously my involvement. So I loved his, obviously, his Belichick book was great. His Coach K book, I think, was fascinating. I've got the Aaron Rodgers book, so the guy, he's got a great reputation. Just as obviously a great writer, but he's a good guy.
What's been some of the first impressions from some of the guys on the team who have read at least a couple chapters of the book?
I think a lot of what I talked to them about, myself and my challenges, and they hear plenty of examples about me from when I was their age and the mistakes I made and the things that they need to do differently. So I'm pretty open with my players about my story. So I think a lot of the stuff that they're hearing, they've heard before.
This is a little off the wall maybe, but you talk a lot about the mental health aspect and what you went through with it.
Yeah.
Through at Seton Hall, and I remember with Al Tariq, there was an issue like you had him sit out an entire game. I think to not even go, not even show up. That kind of were you?
I think
Past experience help you with
Yeah.
helping you through that situation.
I think my ability to manage, a team of players that will experience what I did. At times in my life, I've been the best player. At times I've been a struggling player, and so I could relate to the entire roster. But then I think I could see the signs of a player that's going through it. That's going through, emotional stuff, family issues, personal, development issues. I mean, I was that, so I know what all the signs look like. And then, I gravitate towards, getting involved in that and really trying to help that. And, yeah, I mean, I don't, it's never a fun thing to deal with because men in pain, especially college age, it's they don't know really what to do because, they're afraid to ask for help or, it's not like an ACL or an ankle injury when you're suffering mentally, it's like, it's something people can't see, but it's painful.
Dan, it was off the record when you said it, but you said something, complacency is something you're going through with this team right now, and you've talked about how great they are.
Yeah.
And compared them to the national championship team.
Yeah. That's the
Where is that?
potential. I mean,
Are you talking them up like that on purpose?
Well, no, I mean, the group has the potential. I mean, as disappointing as last year was, like the year could have been a lot better. Like it could have been a better year. So, but it wasn't, because there were things that we didn't do that teams that have better years than us were willing to do, which was to guard better and to play defense with greater discipline and not foul as much and, like turn the ball over less and show mental and physical toughness all the time on the court as a team. So, yeah, I mean, that's the time of year we're in. I mean, you're driving your team, you're pushing your team. You really, this week is kind of the last week of like basketball training camp. And as you get to the following week, you're starting to coach more execution. But right now, I thought last year's team was lacking. Obviously, when you lack in defense, you lack in will. Like when you're hovering around top 100 defense in the country, you lack will. You lack a fight. And right now, I challenge this team to fight every day in practice because that was a huge part of the 23 and 24 teams. And in today's basketball, you can't take for granted that your team's going to have that. So I'm making sure that I coach my team to have that. So yes, I'm fighting with them right now. And you could see some of them were sad in here. But, my job is to drive the team.
Are there any other?
What's your question? What did you say? On the line.
Are there any other coaches who have written books or just authors in general that kind of inspired your writing?
Well, I mean, I had read, I did the coaching books. I've read so much about Bill Walsh. Score Takes Care of Itself. Bear Bryant. I've read Parcells. Anything I get on Belichick and Saban. I mean, I devour that. Probably more football coaches than basketball. More the old school coaches, like books like Coach Calhoun. Bobby Knight. Like I'm more of an old school type of coach. So. That's. But for me, I would say I read the Agassi book while this project was kind of going on, which made me, I think, in my mind, want to be more open about the book and not just put a bunch of crap out there. Just you win back-to-back championships. Let me just do a book because that's what you're supposed to do, and then just mail it in, and not give people like good, like a good story and deep down like vulnerable stuff. So yeah.
Did you read Season on the Brink? The
Yeah,
night book?
I've read. Well, Season on the Brink. I mean, what is that like number? It's like the fucking best sports book, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Best selling.
Was there? I don't want to say last year was like.
Where I was on the Season on the Brink.
But I mean, in some ways, I know it was a very difficult year. Just
Difficult year, tiresome.
Yeah.
Yeah, tiresome. I would say, for me, it was. I can't believe you ended the year with this thing in a tunnel. That probably played a big factor in it because, like, not only is your run over, because like what got lost in that, and I did it to myself. I'm not a victim. I mean, there's enough victims out there today. I'm not a victim of that. I did that to myself. But so I think what I cost us last year was a chance at the end of that run to have people talk about the run, and then have people talk about maybe my emotion after the game for my players. But because I went and did the thing in the tunnel that then dragged Bobby into it, that the whole focus became, Dan Hurley's doing it again, and so that put me probably in a vulnerable state to be a little burnt at that point. And then you add in the fact that it's the portal, it's the NIL, it's total chaos. You don't know who's on your team. Like Jalen and Solo both helped with how quickly, they were kind of like, hey, we're coming back, coach. And that helped a lot because I needed to feel like I had some people still with me. Alex is going to go deep into the NBA process. Taris was just in his first year, so he hadn't been with us through a high school recruiting process. And, so.
Did you record your audiobook?
I did chapter 1, and I did the last chapter, and that was something.
I thought maybe
That
you
was
did the whole
something.
thing. I've heard horror stories from people that did their own.
I mean, it literally, if I have to be able to do my day job, my day job is important. So, but I wanted to have my voice to I did the first chapter and I did the last one, just so. I heard it wasn't bad. I heard I did a good job.
Who does the middle? Is it like,
Then they hire somebody to come in and do it that sounds like you.
well, I didn't think maybe the AI could do it.
Or an AI, I mean.
Yeah, we found a guy with a Boston accent to do Jim.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think it took like 4 hours to do the first chapter. And I would have.
One take?
No one takes, because I'm not good at that. It was like a hostage. It was like a hostage situation. I was reading it like I was reading a grocery list.
Coach, how did it feel to have Cam Hurley back? Saw him tonight, and you took Chris's old role.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is a hard guy to replace because Chris was a total soldier and a workhorse and a total UConn man. So hard to replace that. His love and efforts for UConn. But Cam, I'm superstitious, and he's got some. He was part of both the championships, so it's good to be bringing somebody back in that was part of the winning. That's not why he got the job, but
he said
it didn't hurt.
By the way.
Yeah, he's going to be great. All right.